page 47 to 48. So Doc puts E in the car and busts out his remote control to drive the car around. Doc makes sure we know he's going to be controlling the car remotely.
I will now operate the vehicle with this remote control unit.
Quote by Doc Brown. Marty looks at the remote, decides it is
simple looking but quite sophisticated,
and concludes he has
no doubt that Doc Brown could maneuver the DeLorean with the device.
Okay, are we all up to speed? Doc Brown will operate the car by the remote control unit, okay? And Doc and Marty both believe this is possible, alright? There's no doubt this is possible. So Doc drives Einstein to the edge of the parking lot, spins it around so it faces them, and sits there for 30 seconds, idling. And I can get Gipe's motivations behind this. If the time incursion is to happen on an even minute with no seconds to worry about, we need to burn through some time here, but it's so weird that the car sits there and nothing happens and the characters just stare and stare without making a sound. If they filmed it, which they did not as they were not insane, it'd literally just be 30 seconds of dead film. But at least when the car skids into position in the book, Marty hopes that
no policeman should happen along. It would be very embarrassing for him, as well as them, if he should be forced to arrest a reckless driving dog.
Ha 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 ha, screw the police anyway. This page ends on an awesome note. Doc says is big.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Line, which is okay, but stay with me here because then...
Suddenly aware that the video camera was still running, Doc shuddered at his own use of colloquial language. He added quickly and more conventionally, when a speed of 88 miles an hour is attained, unusual things should begin happening in this phase of temporal experiment number 1.
Amazing. Why wasn't this filmed? This is awesome. Doc, are you informing me that you built a time conveyance device out of a DeLorean branded commercially available land vehicle? Anyway, Doc hits the gas, the car accelerates towards them, and a dog is about to travel through time.
Marty wondered how Einstein felt, sitting there in his captive seat, watching the gauges and instrument lights flash against the black sky.
Spoiler alert. The craziest thing in this novelization so far happens on this page, page 50. Hold on to your balls because you are about to be tripping on them. There will be not a single ball left untripped. Alright. So the car jumps 1 minute ahead in time. I always thought it was badass that Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. stood on top of some fire. The above picture seems to indicate that this was not the case, and it's all decently conveyed and not too far from the movie, except for of course some unnecessary words. Here's the conversation Doc and Marty just after the DeLorean disappears. What made it to the movie is in bold and the rest is bonus novelization words.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
Just as I figured.
The temporal displacement occurred exactly 1:20 a.m. in 0 seconds!
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Actually in the book he says Christ Almighty. But whatever.
Jesus Christ, Doc, you disintegrated Einstein!
Doc, no, Marty, but the license plates, all that remains of the car and dog and everything.
Calm down, Marty, I didn't disintegrate anything! The molecular structure of both Einstein and the car are completely intact!
Where the hell are they?
Doc, not where, when. Marty, I don't understand.
Notice how nothing was lost when we cut out all the non-bold stuff? This is your challenge as writers, to be able to see and cut the non-bold stuff in your writing even when nothing on the page is actually in bold. That is a beautiful image that I just made up myself, but okay, enough writing stuff, let us get to the insanity. So in the movie, and presumably in the script Gipe was working from, Doc says the car is intact and in response Marty says,
Where the hell are they?
And Doc replies,
The appropriate question is, when the hell are they? You see, Einstein has just become the world's first time traveler.
Straightforward enough, right? Not where, when. Well, I cannot begin to fathom what was going through Gipe's mind as he wrote out this scene, nor, Going one level deeper, can I imagine what he thought Doc Brown must have been thinking at this moment, because here is what is written with not a single word changed and with all emphasis in the book left intact.
The appropriate question, Doc Brown amended, is not where are they, but where the hell are they?
What? What? That is not the appropriate question. That's the exact same inappropriate question Marty asked. I do not understand. This book. I do not understand. George Gipe. I do not understand. Why this passage implies that Doc Brown sent Einstein straight to hell. Page 51 has the book version of the above scene, which is Doc saying,
If you're going to build a time machine, why not do it with some style and imagination? Besides, there's a practical aspect.
And I know that I think the movie is amazing due to me spending basically all of ages 8-12 obsessing about it. But I still can't help but think the book version of this line is helluva awkward. We all remember what happens next, right? Doc says.
Besides, the stainless steel construction made the flux dispersal.
And then his watch beeps and he yells,
Look out!
And pushes Marty out of the way as the car bursts through time and almost runs them over. It was an awesome, dramatic scene. Anyway, forget it.
The stainless steel construction of the DeLorean made the flux dispersal. He stopped as his digital clocks began to beep. 10 seconds, Doc Brown said. Keep that tape rolling, Marty. It's never stopped. 5 seconds. Brace yourself for a sudden displacement of air. Marty held the camera tighter, aimed it at the spot where the DeLorean had disappeared. 4, 3, 2, 1. Doc Brown counted down, his voice filled with anticipation. Exactly on schedule, a sharp blast of wind struck them, followed immediately by a deafening sonic boom, causing their hair to stand on end.
It's just so bland. It's more realistic, I guess, Doc giving himself more than a split second to get out of the way, but instead of dodging a speeding car and running for their lives, they're waiting and counting down until something happens. Snooze. In any case, spoiler alert, Einstein's fine and Doc compares his watch and the one on Einstein's neck and they're exactly 1 minute apart.
Einstein's clock is exactly 1 minute behind mine and still ticking!
Doc says, excitedly. Wait, no, sorry, that's what it'd say in a sane book. Instead Doc says,
and Einstein's clock is still clicking.
And I can only conclude that Gipe had the script narrated to him by a third party and never actually read it himself. Because what the heck is clicking doing there? The more I read of this book, the more I feel I learned a slightly different version of English than Gipe did, or perhaps rather that this book is the first sign the computers that control the virtual reality my brain is trapped inside are breaking down and or screwing with me. Question mark. In conclusion, this is me reading these last 2 pages,